Y'all know what it is, man. This is a Certified Winners podcast. And if you're on right now, I'm talking to you because you're a winner and you deserve to be here. Very, very, very special winner in the place today. I interview a lot of people and I get them their flowers. So I thought, why not interview someone extra special to me and get them their flowers right now? And that's my own baby, my daughter. They adore sweet Georgia, whatever y'all want to call her. Georgia Brown is in the building right now. Y'all give it up for my baby. Yeah. What's up, Georgia?
Hello.
You gonna be modest today. You got to hello. No, we gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a good conversation. This is really, I'm excited to do this. You know why? Because every father and daughter need to have conversations. Fathers and mothers, mothers and sons, everybody. We got to communicate with our kids, and kids got to communicate with their parents. And I figured I got a platform. Why not do it with my daughter? I did it with my son before. He got to speak on him and give his story about himself and what he's doing and how he's doing in life. So I want to do it with my daughter. So here it is right now, Certified Winners, and we got it right now. What's going on?
Nothing. Focusing on this work for college.
Focusing on work for college. That's what I'm talking about. I think that's what every parent want to hear. I want to hear my kid is focused for college. But before we get into college, because we're going to get into that too, and I want you to talk to the people about school and the young people that might be interested in doing that. George going to give out some insight on how it is for her. Everybody's experience different. I want to hear how you feel about it and what you got going on with it. So kind of introduce yourself, give them a little background information about Georgia, you know what I'm saying? And so we can get it rolling. What's going on? Give them some information.
I'm Georgia, and I'm not usually a nervous person, but I'm a little nervous right now.
It's okay.
But a little background about me. I'm 18. I'm a freshman and coming to college. I'm from Chicago.
Okay.
I'm a type 1 diabetic. I'm outspoken. Um, uh, yeah, I was pescatarian a year ago. Now I'm not. I'm like, well, yeah.
So like, okay, you Georgia, you from Chicago, South Side should be specific. What was it like growing up in Chicago? How was it? What was the good, the bad, and the ugly about it? Let us know.
The good was all the memories and the like childhood friends you had, the fun parties, and um the I don't know, yeah, that's really it. The good and like downtown sometimes. Um, the bad, of course, the shootings and killings, um, the police brutality, not being able to like always clashing with friends because that's just Chicago. You gonna clash with friends, you gonna fight. Um, Overall, I love Chicago. It's just I don't know, like I feel like it's not quite a lot of opportunities for you in Chicago, so it's a good city to visit and have fun in and
Okay.
do the things you want to do, which when it comes to fun, but like getting money and making a living for yourself, I don't see that in Chicago.
So you don't think that's able to do that? So like living in Chicago, you grew up on the South Side, like I said. You said it's like and things of that nature, whether it's from police or it's from our own people in our own community, that kind of detracts from the value of the city. So for you as a young person, you only 18, so like you haven't really haven't gotten to see like most of what goes on. You know what I'm saying? The deep dark corners. You know what I'm saying in Chicago, but you've been there. You've lived on the South Side. You've lived downtown. You've experienced a lot of good memories and a lot of bad memories. So. So, what would be your suggestions as the youth in Chicago trying to navigate through the violence, through the negativity, and also trying to find a positive out of it? Do you suggest that they like get away, see things differently, see other things? What do you think they like some of our youth that's in Chicago, if they can do it, what do you think they like kind of like, broaden their horizons when it comes to the city?
Well, if you can and you want to move, I think you should. Just always make sure you have a plan B, C, D, E, F, G. Um, cause you gonna say you're gonna do one thing, but it's gonna be hard. I don't believe in like things happening like this anymore. Like I used to just get what I wanted, so it was like I thought stuff came like this, but really it was just time. Time really tells everything. Um, but yeah, if you want to get out of Chicago, I say you should. Depending on how you grew up, like some people are family oriented, so some people don't want to leave their family. But if you're not family oriented, like I was growing up or whatever, like I was family oriented growing up, but I don't grew apart from my family. So um, if you like me, don't you want to stay in Chicago because you see the good in Chicago, but it's nothing but bad around you. Leave and come back when it's a good time, or you are mentally able to handle the things that come with Chicago. Um, for the people that want to leave and can't leave, I say get your priorities straight instead of like doing things that you know is not gonna help you, like playing the game, uh, going to parties, drinking, like stuff like that. That's the waste of time, especially if you know you have a plan for yourself and you know your circumstances in that moment. Like I wasted my time being around people like my friends and stuff. I mean, I had good friends, but we just wasn't on the same level. I was trying to be better, and it was always let's drink, let's do this, let's do that, and I would agree, which is my my choice. But at the same time, I wish I rather instead of drunk or smoked or went out to party or something like that. I wish I would have been reading. I wish I would have been looking at how I can get enrolled into my classes for summer classes for college. It's just so many more things like all that smoking and drinking that's gonna come later. That's really a waste of time, waste of
Absolutely.
energy, and a waste of money. Really, because you could be saving up for a apartment, a car, everything.
All
But
that. All that. So you said that like, like you're not really close with family. We can get into that, but I think we'll kind of like slide past. But I want to know, like, when you have issues like that, like, so I'm your dad. Everybody might know I'm your father. Everything I got. We have our moments. We bump heads, you there, but that's what happened with teenagers and parents because I did the same thing with my mama. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want to believe some of the stuff she was saying. I didn't want to hear some of the stuff she was saying, even though it was right. And I knew it was right way back then until I got to the point where, like you just mentioned, being old enough to understand, old enough to make decisions, old enough to see for myself. Now,
mm,
uh, what are some of the, because like I don't want to be the only hero on my story. That's not what we do. What are some of the things that you feel like I could have done better as a father to help aid in you being more prepared to handle the world when you got to this point right now?
um, what you could have done? I'm gonna
Yeah, we
say
being honest, what I'm saying. I know like we saying this in love, and it is what it is.
yeah. I'm gonna say this. I believe that you don't like. That's one thing I can say. I don't really think you didn't do anything that I wish you would have did because you gave me time to see everything on my own, but you also tried to help me avoid situations. You most definitely helped me with situations that I wasn't ready for. Um, you didn't leave like mentally, like you were still there. Um, so I mean, nothing I can think of right now. Like honestly, like I think you did a good job in teaching me and helping me like through my years. But yeah.
um and then anybody as a parent, like, hopefully, I want you to be one later on, way way later on in life. I want you to be a parent and understand what it means, like when your kids get to tell you something like that feels good. But I know as a father, some things that I wasn't prepared for, and I didn't prepare myself to give to you. You know what I'm saying? So like when things don't work out and you got to move on with your life and you got to do things that you have to do as an adult, you know what I'm saying? Like kids get left in it, and it's not fair to children when when adults can't get what they need, like when they can't be adults and make compromises to make sure that the children are like what they need to be and have what they need to have. So I do take responsibility for part of that. So I appreciate the words that you give, but my part of it is, like I didn't I thought being around every day. I used to feel like not being there and being in the house when I left, that caused a big part of, because I was young, we got old things you got to correct and get right with. But you know what I'm saying? Like I did my best to try to like always communicate with you and tell you what's this and tell you what's that and lead by an example. So like what I did when I wasn't there, like I always left Jews with y'all. I always left wisdom. Everything I taught you was stayed and it was instilled, you know what I'm saying, to make sure that you knew whether I was in that house or not, you knew what to expect, what was coming, and you know what I'm saying, and how you needed to deal with it. So
Mm.
you had a lot to deal with growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, you got diabetes, you know what I'm saying? You grew up with that. So a lot of people suffering from that in our communities. And we had talks about that. And you found out when you were 4. What was
Mm.
that like having to deal with having diabetes, the negative stigma of it in our communities because of the way we eat, because of how, you know what I'm saying, there's soul food and this and that. And, like, how is that like growing up and dealing with it right now? Give us some insight on that.
Well, when it comes to me having diabetes, like, and growing up with it didn't get hard for me until I had to actually do it myself, had to go to doctor's appointments and like learn it myself, like just so I can know what I'm doing with my health. Um, I say in the beginning of having it, like I found out when I was 4, so of course I'm not gonna be as you know up to date with it, but it's very much hard. It makes you want to give up multiple times
Mm.
throughout the day. Uh, it it's hard, like because it's not like okay, so like as I grew up and I moved out or whatever and did all that, I realized not even moved out yet. Like I just realized at the age like I think it was 12. At the age of 12, I realized like how hard it was getting because I would
Mhm.
realize insulin would make my body feel like would make me feel like in general just mood swings. Knowing I couldn't eat. Well, I could eat anything I wanted to, but it's not the healthiest choice. But like I was able to eat anything, but always having people watch you and tell you, "Oh, you need to put this down." And some people would make jokes out of it. Some people wouldn't. Um, with the growing up with bullies, like yeah, I was always a chubbier girl, so it was like all jokes was always made. Like only fat people get diabetes, and really the skinniest person and
Anybody
most
can get it.
healthiest person can have it.
Right.
But um, yeah, like growing up with stuff like that, like um, yeah, it diabetes overall is stressful. Is to me, it could get stressful just like cancer. The only thing about it is your hair is not, falling out, but you have the same feeling. Like you
You're
feel
sick,
like
you're
you're
tired, you got
sick.
mood swings. Yeah, you got everything.
You just
And
feel
that's
dead
what
inside. You're
and,
not.
and that's a yeah.
You just feel dead inside when you're not feeling good. Like if your sugar's high, I automatically feel dead. Like my body feel dried out,
Mm.
mouth be dried out, water, head hurt. Sometimes my body got like a sizzling type of feeling in my arms and my hands. My feet will go numb. A lot of stuff. Like even when it goes down really low, like I feel really thirsty, like craving sugars or really tired, sweaty, and stuff like that. So, I mean, diabetes is not hard. It never will be. Even when you think you're taking care of it, there's one moment you can be doing so good, and then one little mistake, you can mess up the whole thing you've been doing for years. So it would
Right.
never be easy. It's always going to be troubles with diabetes, especially if you are, overweight.
Mm. And that's the thing we have, like in our communities, we deal with those type of things, and when you deal with obesity and like negativity, and imagine like having that as a child and like everything coupled on top of it, you know what I mean? So like I always taught you as a father, you know what I'm saying, like a lot more clearer now, mentally, emotionally, you know what I'm saying, physically, everything like that. But I've always taught you that nobody, I mean, it might sound harsh like that, but like we got to teach our kids that nobody cares about your diabetes.
Mm.
Nobody cares about any issues you have. The world is cruel. The world is cold. When you find people that love you and care about you, you hold on to them. You listen to them. You make sure you absorb what they're trying to give you because they've been out there and they've done it. So when I told you that, it was for me not to, you know what I'm saying, hurt your feelings and make you think that, you know, everybody in the world is cold and everybody don't love you. It was for me to prepare you so you can understand. So why you at the point you at now, 11 and 12, and you had to do it. So by the way, I admired you having to prick yourself and take a stick to take your, you know, like get poked to take your blood sugar, having to get poked to take insulin, not being able to eat certain things. So like people don't have kids with diabetes, if you don't have like kids with special needs, like, you know, thank God, because it is a blessing. Staying like having to tell your daughter at a birthday party that she can't have a cupcake until she has some insulin. Having to pull her to the back of Chuck E. Cheese to get out the insulin and give her a shot so she can enjoy the party like the rest of the kids. Having to monitor that all day long. Getting up in the middle of the night, checking on her and making sure she's not sugar's not too low, sugar's not too high, things like that. So it's a lot that goes into it, but it's also like having to realize that that's your assignment. That's what, you know, God gave to you as a parent. And when you get as the child, you start to mature and you get older, like you got to realize that that is your assignment. We're here to help you as much as we can with life and things that we're supposed to do. But for our that was my assignment. That you are my assignment. My children are my assignment. And I got to do what I'm supposed to do as a man to make sure that you know that you're going to be safe, you're going to be comfortable, you're going to be loved, and you're going to be poured into. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's what I try to do my best. And did I do it all the time? Nah. I'm saying, like, I failed at like relationships. I failed at a lot of things, but one thing I tried to pride myself on was being a father. So if there's anything that you wanted to do or felt like you wanted to try out, I tried to make sure that I gave you the freedom to do that. So I didn't give you a lot of freedom to think that you could do all the extra stuff. I tried to make sure, you know, like it's rules to this. It's rules to the game when it comes to being, you know, having relationships as a child and a parent. I think that we need to touch on a lot of things like that in this conversation. I'm glad I get to have it with you. We've had our trials and our differences as father and daughter. You know what I'm saying? Like, you work my nerves sometimes. You get on my nerves, and I know I get on your nerves sometimes. But have you ever felt like when my dad got on my nerves, it was never love involved? Have you ever felt like at any point in time, as Jones being your father, that there was never love involved?
Out of anger, I say like, man, he don't love me.
Tell that truth. Let's go. Tell the truth.
You know, I'm just saying like, I say to other people like, he don't love me, this and that, out of anger. But like looking back, I do believe everything you say is out of love. It could be wrong, it could be right on certain situations, or to me, it could be wrong or could be right. But at the same time, I know you're human, I'm human, so it's like, and then I know you know me, so I already knew that everything was out of love. It was just anger. It was just a situation. So, I mean, no, I don't think I ever felt like anything you said when we had our arguments was not out of love. Yeah.
Because I love you with everything in me. And even when we didn't talk, I still loved you. Even when, you know, I you off. And the biggest part about being a parent, I try to teach you about being right, is like having accountability. So it's been plenty of times that I knew that I was my accountability, my healthiness, like made me text you, even if you didn't answer, made me call you, made me arise and be like, hey, I was wrong. Because the goal of it is to make sure that our children become everything that we couldn't be. And whatever we got to do to make sure you become that, damn it, we gonna do it. If we gotta, some of the things my mom used to say, like, we'd be mad, and Granny Bessie would be like, "You have no idea to make sure y'all had this, I had that." So like, it was kind of the same thing, but understanding healthy relationships right now, I understand them now, but understanding healthy relationships is like, you got to have accountability. I had to come back to you and be like, hey, the goal was to make sure that you were prepared for, and it was different points in your life when you was like, especially getting to the point now when you turning 18, and every kid turn 18, they think they grown, they think they know everything, because we did the same thing. So at that point, turning 18, you made some difficult decisions that you had to make for yourself, and we had conversations, and we worked on getting that done. What was the most difficult thing, that like decision that you had to make, what I'm saying, like on the turning 18? What was the most difficult decision that you had to make in regards to like your 18th birthday? I do love you, Danny.
Wait, my best decision? Or
Yeah,
you
what
said
was
my
the toughest decision you had as far as like when
toughest
you turned 18? Yeah.
toughest decision? Um, choosing the truth,
Mm.
really, about everybody I surrounded myself with. Like, yeah, I believe that's really it. Choosing the truth. Um, just dealing with people that I wanted to keep around, but knowing they were not good for me, but knowing our good
Mm.
conversations and old memories and things like that, or like I'm just speaking of all people, like people I knew all my life, people I knew for 2 months, like just choosing, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because see, we don't get it. That's what we don't get, and this is what we got to understand. Like, a lot of times, we are the greatest of friends, and they're not the greatest of friends to us. Like, we were what they needed for a season, and they was never what we needed at all in our life.
Hmm.
So people come into your life, the old saying, they come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And we got to learn how to decipher those people and make sure we understand what part they play in our life. So just hearing you say that right now lets me know that you've matured. And I'm proud of you for saying that. And I'm proud of you for understanding that everybody don't deserve to be in your life all of your life. Lifelong friends come a dime a dozen. When you get them, you better make sure you keep them dimes in your pocket. So you realizing that and moving forward and understanding that, like, everybody don't deserve to go on this journey with me. Because, like, in order for you to elevate and go higher, you got to let go of some baggage.
Yeah.
And all of us got to go through that. You got to let go of baggage in order to go higher. Because, like, people, places, and things will weigh you down in this world, baby girl. It'll weigh you down. It won't, like, everybody ain't happy for you. Like, believe it or not, everybody ain't happy you went to school. So that's what I want to get into. Like, you leaving Chicago. What was the hardest part about you leaving Chicago and going to school? What was the hardest part about that?
The hardest part for me was my medication. I'm not gonna say friends because I don't miss none of my friends in Chicago. I probably miss one cousin in Chicago. No, I miss two cousins in Chicago, two good friends,
What
one
about your
adult.
sister?
I was gonna say one adult and one of my siblings. Well, two of my siblings. Um, yeah, so that's like six people I just counted that I miss Chicago. That's I'm not gonna name people in Chicago because I don't miss like
Wow.
I don't miss the friends. I don't miss only thing I can say I don't miss anything because it's fresh. It's 2 months in. And everybody always asks me, I want to go
Mm-hmm.
back.
I can
I want
understand
to
that.
go
I can
back for
understand
those
that.
people that I love and that I know that love me.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I would say my medicine. My medicine was the hardest part because when it come down to it, you don't want to leave anything behind that can be one step away from getting you to where you're trying to get to, and then your medicine back you back.
Mm.
So for me, it was just for my doctors and my medicine, honestly.
So you're having to transition and find new doctors and everything. Like,
Yeah.
That's probably it. So you only miss a few people. Damn, out of all the people you had through your life, your 18 years of living,
Out of
you only
all
miss
thousands, 15,000 people, out of all the millions of people I done met, I only miss about no more than how many fingers I got.
10. Dang. Long as it's the right
Lit.
people. And I'm glad you
I didn't
listened
say
to that.
love. I said miss to go back.
You
I want to
missed.
go back. I'm not gonna say I want to go back. I say I want to go back while I'm in school because of all the work they give us. But in reality, I be having fun down here with my new friends.
Yes,
It's
yeah.
a new start, new journey. I pray everything I pray for, I got it. So I'm just forever grateful. I would never say I want to go back to anything that I prayed to get out of.
Mm, mm. See,
Yeah.
that's what we gotta realize, right? Like it's a story in the Bible, right? It's about Lot. And you know, like it tells one of Lot's family members, don't look back or you're gonna be turned to a pillar of salt. And that's like my message to you. And I
Oh
tell
yeah.
people that don't look back on your life. It ain't gonna do nothing but make you salty.
Yeah. No,
So
I don't want to south. So I'm gonna keep forward. I'm gonna
move
keep.
forward. That's why they got like that's why they put the review. You can look back at stuff back then, like keep going forward. But you left and you in school now. Um, Tell us what school you go to. Come about going to this school and like who helped you like get into this school or like who helped you along your college journey
Well,
right now. Start your college.
the school I am attending to in the fall is Western Kentucky University.
Woo,
Um,
woo.
my major is theater and my minor is in communication. My big brother, G Money Brown, he helped me. He's helping me currently. He's done a lot. I appreciate him. He done gave me a lot of motivation. I thank God for him every day. I literally pray for that man every day for the brains that he has to even be able to
Oh
be
yeah.
put in a position to help me and other people in the family. Period. Even though he might get on my nerves a lot,
That's a
I
reoccurring
still,
thing. It's a lot of people getting on your nerves.
yeah. Honestly, me being Georgia Brown that people adore so much, everybody's gonna get on my nerve eventually because certain things I just can't stand or I just don't allow. So I just be like,
Oh, really? So you know what
yeah,
that sounds like when Sweet Georgia Brown do stuff. It's certain things that get on other people's nerves. So tell us about these
oh
things.
no,
What
I
are
already know that.
some things? What are some things that get on Georgia's nerves that we need? Because we need to know. Because we don't want to get on your damn nerves. What that happen that get on your nerves, boo?
Sarcasm, disloyalty,
Ooh,
um,
that's a good one.
yeah, people that lie, people that don't take accountability,
Mm.
people that get loud with me. I don't like when people get loud with me. Don't. I'm not a mean person. I just don't like when people get loud with me. There's no reason to get loud if I'm not being loud.
True.
People that talk over you, people that think you don't supposed to have a say so.
Mm.
Um, I keep talking about people. You said what is it that I don't like? Um,
I
I,
mean, the things that you don't like usually come in the form of people, so it's okay.
yeah,
Like.
yeah, only people really. I love,
Mm.
but yeah, it's a lot of stuff. It's just it's just more of who that person is. Like some things I allow because I know who the person is. So, but I allow it, but I still communicate what I don't like and what they did. So, like
Gotcha.
you could do something to me, like for example, my little sister. She know I don't like her saying certain things, and she'll say them. But no, she won't say them. Actually, I told her about herself, and she stopped. And if it slip out once or twice, I'll just be like, hey, remember. And she'll be like, oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Like, but if we're out and it happens, we're out. It happens. I'm going to pull you to the side later and be like, I did this earlier, but let's just not do that again because I don't like that. Like, it's stuff like that. Like, it just depends on who you are. But for most people, don't yell at me. Do not yell at me.
But this life
Because
though, like you gotta realize like stuff happen that we don't like and like we don't deal with. So
let
like
me tell
my
you,
go
let
ahead.
me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all something. I worked at White Castles. And let me tell you something. This girl thought she was gonna yell at me for being on the. First off, I was the best drive-through person they could ever have. I was getting that line
What?
out, and
Tell her.
she thought she could yell at me, and I told her we could fight right on the floor. But that day, I got fired, and it's okay because at the end of the day, you're still not gonna yell at me. You're not gonna yell at me, but and that's okay.
Listen,
And it's
listen.
okay
Let
to
me tell
move.
you. That's cool. But let me give you some advice that I got because I used to be angry, right? Especially like when I really was coming, finding myself and rediscovering and being the Kevin that God intended me to be, right? I had to like, and I told you this, and we talk about this a lot. So people are looking for a reaction. So what you got to start doing is giving them a response. You got to start responding and not reacting because like they look for negative fuel when you, that's why they try to push your buttons. They know how to do it. They know how to say it. You know what I'm saying? They know how to say things. They know when to say things. They know when to call your phone, what to say when they call it, all those things. So like when you get to the point where you've mastered how to respond to people and not react, you know what I'm saying? Like then you'll be able to really understand folks and really be able to be in different ways. You ain't gotta like them, you ain't gotta deal with them, you ain't gotta understand. I don't even try to do it no more. But what I figured out is that I don't have to react to you. I know it, and you're young and you're doing better at it, but you'll get to the point where you start realizing that everything don't deserve a reaction. Everybody don't deserve it. I reserve those responses. I reserve my rebukes. I reserve everything that when I'm ready to give it. And when I don't want to deal with you, that's how we got to go. So I don't know what happened. She coming back, but here she goes. She back. But yeah, you gotta realize that, and that's how you gotta handle it, Gio. Real talk. Yeah, when stress comes in your life is to deal with those things. You got to find healthy ways to deal with stress. You got to find healthy ways to deal with people because in life, people bring the most stress. I'm gonna tell you like that. If I ain't never told you, I'm gonna tell you now. People bring a lot of stress, so you got to find coping mechanisms and you got to find ways to deal with that stress in a healthy manner.
Yeah,
So
and I haven't felt those healthy ways yet, but I am putting myself in situations to not have to deal with people. But I know I am. But at the same time, I have not found those healthier ways, but I am trying to.
well, that's good.
I
At
am.
least you're honest. So like
Yeah.
some things I work on, things I have is like, you know what I'm saying? And it takes time to acquire it. Everybody don't get to like get it like that, you know what I mean? But like you gotta like if you gotta leave. Like if you gotta like move to a different spot in the house or around different individuals, if you gotta have a breathing exercise, whatever you gotta do to make it because like what happens is like reactionary fuel. So like they'll get a reaction out of you and you'll snap and go off and everybody will think you crazy. Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah, but the only thing about that is like when people like see me reacting how I react and they want to call me crazy or disrespectful. One thing about me that I don't think everybody understand or know about me is I will never care how anybody else feel. I will never care if you think I'm crazy, if you think I'm responding crazy. Only the people that I love and the ones that I know love me back could tell me if I'm wrong or out of pocket. And even if I don't believe them, I just gotta see that on my own. I will never care if somebody think I'm disrespectful because nobody is in my shoes. Nobody know what I went through. Nobody know my situation. Now, yeah. So
Yeah, and that's that's
that
that's
that
that's what people gotta realize
me,
too.
that is not me being petty. That is not me being funny. That is like I have realized that about myself. I honestly stopped caring what other people think because
Mm.
I don't see so many people be in the right and a lot of people think they're in the wrong. So and now I'm not speaking for I'm speaking about my friends, family members. Like I can honestly care less what people think. It's a billion. It's more than a billion people in this world. I don't care if I had a million followers and all the million of them people think I was right and one person think I was wrong. I'm gonna say when I'm wrong and I'm gonna say when I'm right. And if I can't take that accountability, that's on me. That's not them. It's my life.
Y'all heard her. She said she's a theater major at Western Kentucky, and she is not acting like she. don't give a she
I am not
don't.
acting
So
right
y'all
now.
better recognize. No,
That's just me.
what you saying is real though. What you saying is real though, because this is what you got to realize though. Like people will try to put you like a lot of them to keep you in a place where they used to know you. They don't want to see the new version of you, the
Yeah.
growth that you've made. They want to like because the old person they probably was able to control, the old person they was probably able to manipulate, the old person they probably took advantage of. So now that you've grown and you've gotten better, and that's for anybody out there that's watching this right now, or happen to watch it later on or hear it like the audio of this. Always if it's anybody in your life that want to keep you in a place of your past where you who you used to be, what you used to do, you need to get the hell away from them right now. Those are not your friends. Those are not people that you want to associate with because they do not celebrate you. They do not want you to grow. They do not want you to be better. They do not want you to be the best version of you moving forward that you can be. From your father to you, I want you to understand that I'm proud of you. Now, is it other ways that you can handle it? Yes, but you just admittedly said with accountability that I haven't learned those. So now this is where we come back in and we have conversations that this is some things that you can do to deal with those things, cope with those things. So that's the next step as a person. So you in school.
Well, um,
Go ahead. What you got?
so I'm about to say one thing I do when I'm like irritated or like can't control my feelings like at all. I I listen to music or walk up that big old hill at WKU because they got
Okay.
some long,
You on the
huge
hill.
hills. I'll walk, and I have this, and I met this girl, and I know it's only been a couple months, a couple weeks, but I met
Mm-hmm.
this girl, I call her my best friend, and she is literally my peace, which I know people can't be your peace. You have to bring that on your own.
Mm-hmm.
But for right now, in the season I'm in, she is the one of the people that calms me down, makes me think other than myself. Like I think, but I be mad and I be working up some stuff in my head, like what to say, what who to curse out, how to curse them out. But she'll come to my side and be like, "Remember, we was trying to be godly women. You was not that Georgia no more. You cannot go back." And
Mm.
I'm like, "It's a little bit of that Georgia back still in me. It's only been 2 months."
That don't leave.
But yeah, like and her doing that with me and being there for me, like that helped me help other people in the same
Mm.
situation when they angry and can't control themselves. So that's one thing that I can say. The heal, music, and my best friend in college right now.
Mm. Okay, so there goes some coping mechanisms. There goes some things right there. But you got to realize too, like your friend got a life, so she might not be there all the time. So you got to put together. But I thank God for your friend. You know what I'm saying? Shout out,
I
friend.
realized
Still
that.
learning.
She ain't gonna be there every time because she left for a weekend, and I tell you now, like I got depressed. I got depressed. I was like, what in the world? Why did she leave? Like, I was sitting there calling her every day, but she was enjoying her family. And only reason I said I got depressed is because one, I came down here with no friends. I didn't have anybody. So when I met her, and she was really genuine and godly and helped me, and we helped each other. Like I got depressed like of her leaving because everybody else just wanted to drink and stuff like that. And she is not one of the
Mm.
people that drink or smoke. She don't drink or smoke. So like when we have conversations or when we do things together, it be so like real. Like we don't have to sit in the car and smoke or drink and do none of that type of stuff. It was all pure love, pure realness.
What? See,
That's why I say that's why I say that, like, yeah.
and that's how we get trapped. Like we all thought that. Like we going through things. The weed gonna help me get through it. You know what I'm saying? I smoke and I know things. We think going to the bottle gonna help us. You know what I'm saying? Cope with that. After you high and after you drunk, your problem's still there. Your
Sure is.
situation's still there. That
All my
trauma's still there.
homework
That
was
hurt's
still
still there.
all my homework was still there. It was like you had to
Everything's still
but
there.
everything came right back into your senses and it was like everything's still there.
Like, damn, I still got to do this test. I still got to turn in this paper. It's never gonna go until you actually deal with it. So I think I'm whoever this young lady is that came into your life that's helping you
Mm-hmm.
keep these little Negroes off of you down there in Kentucky. You know what I'm saying? I thank her. So like whatever her cash app is, let me know so I can give her a couple of dollars for helping keep these dudes away from you and
Mm.
helping get you straight. So
Dudes,
I'm
who said dudes? What are you talking
I
about?
said dudes because your daddy ain't a fool. You in school. But look, we talk about school. And I'm proud that you chose to do it. You majoring in theater, something that you always wanted to do. I always thought I believe you can do whatever you want to it, and you put the work in. You can be taught. You're one of the smartest people I know. But being in school, how's that transition been? Leaving a place like Chicago, coming down to Kentucky, where it's a lot slower, a lot less things to do. Like, how's that transition been? How have you been dealing with that?
The transition been real smooth, honestly. Like I said, I prayed to come down here. I literally didn't want to for certain reasons, but like I prayed for peace. I prayed for to be still. I prayed for like the dramatic situations to just
Mm,
stop. Like being in Chicago, it was always something. I was always irritated. I was always looking at people like you're not meant for me, and having to be around those people 24/7 was just different.
mm.
But like coming to Kentucky, where it was more quieter, people are more nicer here. So when I come down here, everybody like, "Why you so mean?" I'm like, "I'm not mean." When like they'll literally hold the door open for you down here, and like people will do that in Chicago, but it'd be like always
Like
like,
it's something up
and
to
you
it. Like
can,
it's something
it was
else with
there's
it.
always something up to it, or like you just always looking at people down in Chicago, like you couldn't hold the door open, like, but people will like hold the door or they won't see you coming and close the door, and when you come and say, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry, I didn't know you were behind me," like stuff like that. They're not gonna do that in Chicago, like, or I ain't ready to nobody that would do that because I'm walking into a store and the lady talking about some that was rude. I'm sorry. Like I like stuff like that. You just don't run into. So like it's way more like chill. You more focused down here.
Mm,
Like if you have a goal and like you trying to make money moves and you trying to be more mentally stable, Kentucky is very different. I tell my friends to come down here with me all the time. Like they be calling me with their troubles and stuff like that. I'm like, man, you come down to Kentucky, you just have a good old time. Like I can only say I'm having a good time because my brother is able to afford to give me a good time. But like overall, Kentucky is really a focused city. It can be racist. You got a lot of racism down here. I haven't ran
everywhere.
into no
It's everywhere.
I haven't yeah. But it's not like Chicago. Racism down here is not like Chicago at all. You
Hmm.
not gonna run into no people like making issues that much in Chicago. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like with police officers, yeah, with a couple civilians in Chicago, the Karens and stuff like that. But in Kentucky, it's Karens everywhere. But they
Hmm.
don't show it as much. They show it when they want to. They very bold out here. Now, it's some bold people that probably done came from Kentucky to Chicago and they done made the news. But it ain't like that. But overall, like, don't if you I don't say like don't move to Kentucky because it's racist. Like it's a lot of people down here that you're gonna get along with. A lot of people.
Yeah.
They very friendly out here.
A lot of that is you haven't been exposed to, like we one of the most racist cities like in America, and it has been for a long time. When Dr. King came down to get like, protests about fair housing, what I'm saying? Like all the white folks came from Cicero to try to stop it when they weren't even living in them areas that, they was trying to get fair housing in. But it's because you haven't been exposed. So once you start getting exposed, you're getting exposed to it now. And I think when we had Orange Chicken in office, he came and he made the undercover, racist bigots be more bold. They'll come out, they'll say things, they'll do things, but racism, well, and I'm glad you get to see and understand, but you got to realize like everybody ain't a racist. Every cop ain't a bad cop. Every, what I'm saying, like young black man with dreads or whatever, what I'm saying, like the stereotypes they put on us, they're not gangbangers and thugs, and they're not murderers, and nobody wants to lean that. But like until we start standing, start like being the squeaky wheel, so to speak, or being the clanging cymbal, so to speak, just making a noise about what's going on, we all implicated and a part of it, because like until like other police officers step up and say like, I ain't going to accept that because I'm a cop, and every other black person step up and say just because that's my nephew, my son, my friend, my homie, my daughter, my mother, whatever, and start making people be accountable, we're gonna always have those kind of things in our world and in our communities and stuff like that, because it's all by design. But that's a whole nother thing. But young black girl left Chicago in Kentucky, going to school doing her thing. It's a lot of young black women that don't get the opportunities you have. What do you say to them? What's your suggestion to them? What can you give them that might help them try to navigate through not being able to leave a city like Chicago? What advice would you give them if they can't leave? Because some people just they can't leave. They can't pick up and go. They don't have a brother like you have that made a way for you to come down there and get your education. Some people, some young ladies can't leave. What would you say to them? How would you help them navigate Chicago if they can't get out of there?
Well, one thing I'm gonna say is, at one point, it was a point that I could not leave. I was not finna leave. Um, so in that time, honestly, I didn't deal with it the right way. But looking back at it now, like I said in the beginning, get your head on straight.
Mm,
Whatever your plans is, if you don't have plans, make them. If you don't
mm,
have plans to leave Chicago, if you don't have plans to be a better person, make them. That's the first step in getting out of wherever you are now. But me, being a person I always had a plan. I always had a schedule. Always had, I always made sure I had some type of plan B, plan C, to go to. Um, yeah, I feel like that'll put you in a better position through it all. Like, even if you don't have time to do that and you're always busy, I say always speak what you want, um, or pray. Cause honestly, I didn't realize that. I mean, I used to say prayer doesn't work because when I asked for $100 and I didn't get it in my hands, I was like, yeah, God, I
mm,
already done prayed off 5 times. I don't know what else. But like, I prayed to lose weight. I lost it. It didn't even realize I was losing it.
mm.
And it wasn't because I was going through health problems. It was literally because I was doing it on my own. I was walking every day. Um, I literally prayed to not be depressed no more. I was not depressed. I am not depressed. I have not been depressed for a long time now. Um, I prayed for better friends. I prayed for the best friend I have now. I promise you, I cannot lie. I run through so many best friends. It's ridiculous. I call about every girl I meet my best
That's because
friend.
they wasn't better. They all of them want your best friend.
Yeah, and the people that I thought was my best friend, I just realized those were the people that put that title on our situation. I
Mm,
never felt that
okay.
way. So when I allowed the title and never really seeked the best friendship, I realized I really was the best friend that I felt like I was to that person. So when I prayed to get out of depression, I prayed to lose weight, I prayed for the best a best friend I can pray with, worship with. I came straight to college and she was the first girl I met. The first conversation, the first girl I asked for a charger. I didn't know this girl from campaign. And the first thing she said on the first day, well, I asked her can I use her charger, but she had spoke to me after that, and it was like, oh yeah, I'm into Bible study. I want to have a Bible study class, this and that, and we was like best friends on the third day.
Mm,
And it's kind of weird because um when I prayed to God, I asked him. I said I felt lonely, and on that second day, I was still like wanting to go out and ask people like what y'all doing to hey this and that. But I was like, I don't know who was going to be friendly back with me, stuff like that. And my phone was on 100% that whole day. And when I got to the dorm, it was like on 2%. And I ended up leaving my charger. I thought I left my charger, but it was really in my purse under a whole bunch of stuff, which I dumped the whole purse. I thought I dumped the whole purse out. But I'm just saying how I know it was God. Like
wow.
how prayer prayer is really how you if you can't leave somewhere, prayer is really it. Like I don't know how to explain it because when people used to tell me that, I used to be like, man, I need more answers than that. But it really is like prayer and time. You have to give yourself time. You have to give the world time. You have to
Mm,
give God time. You have to mentally to give yourself time. Like I prayed for this girl. Her name is Pia. I prayed for her and not even knowing that I was gonna meet her in college. I'm thinking I was gonna meet her in Chicago.
mm,
By being outside working 3 jobs all in 1 week I think I'm gonna find somebody like that, and I consistently keep running past these females that ain't best friends, and I'm like, man. So I prayed. I said, God, I feel long. I was feeling lonely in Kentucky when I first came down here. I prayed to God. I said, God, I'm feeling lonely. I know I have you, so I don't want to say I'm lonely. Like I'm praying to Him like this. I'm like, I know I have you, and I know I'm not lonely, but I feel lonely. I want to feel like I got somebody that love me how I want to love somebody else. And when I tell you, I have never felt a love from a friend, not even trying to be petty towards any of my other friends. I have never felt a genuine love from somebody and given to somebody. Like I love this girl, like she
That's a
my sister.
wonderful thing.
I be ready to snap on anybody that talk to her crazy the first day. Like, and I'm like that for everybody. But for Pia, it's like I cannot go to sleep without saying good night, love you. I already tell this girl I love her, which is nothing wrong with that. It's just for me, it's hard to tell people I love them because I don't know if they love me for real. But when she prayed, I was really going through a moment where I was struggling with keeping up with my work. They don't tell you how college is for real. So
Tried to tell
I'm
you.
gonna have to start. I'm gonna have to start telling people how it really is because I'm the realest it's gonna get. But
You better
when I
tell
was
him.
going through it and I was in my room crying, listening to the worst music you could listen to when you're going through something, she stopped me. She got my phone. She know my passcode. Put my passcode in, turned to a gospel song. She said, "Let me read you this verse. The scripture that God put on my heart to read to you." And I bust out crying. And she started reading, bust out crying again. And as I'm like worshiping, she's writing something. And I'm thinking she's doing her homework or she's just writing a note or something. The note was for me the whole time. It was like, I believe God sent me to you, or I believe God sent us to each other because we're both different, but in beautiful ways, and this and this and that. And that day, I think that was the first week of it was that like the second week in the beginning. So we got 5 weeks in this program, and we 4 weeks in now. Um, but the second week, that Monday, she had wrote that letter, and I was like, I don't feel lonely. She literally
Mm.
spent the night with me. Like I ended up getting my own room and stuff. She spent the night with me, and it was just like if she was God sent. Like it was no way she wasn't God sent. Cause I asked, cause anytime I'm around her, I know she gonna keep it real. Like she's the sweetest person, but she gonna keep it real with me because I keep it real with her. Everybody call me mean because they just call me mean. They don't say I'm mean. They say I'm more aggressive. And I'm like, I'm not aggressive. I just tell it how it is. But I can see myself being aggressive. But
You're like, pull
yeah,
yourself together. Ah, that's how you.
yeah. Like the boys, even the boys down here be like, we don't be want to go to Georgia because she might snap on me because I
She gonna
feel this way.
snap.
I'm like, no, I'm not gonna snap her. I just be like, I talk like. I be like,
You don't have time for the
you need to
bull.
pull yourself together. You sound silly. Like, don't let no girl ruin your scholarship. You sound like an idiot. And that's certain
Facts.
I say, but it be real. But no, yeah. Prayer, time, and God. Like those are the three options I say because me wanting to get out of Chicago but didn't know how. And I'm the type of person I don't want anybody doing anything for me. Like I want to do everything on my own. I really have to pray and be like, God, I want to get out the situation. And he got me out that situation. Like, yeah.
And that's what you got to realize. So, like, we all need help. God put people in our lives for a reason. So, I think He put P in your life for what you need right now. You needed companionship and a friend. And He sent you someone that's going to love you genuinely, tell you the truth, and make sure you understand that you are enough, you are worth it, and that you can do this. You know what I'm saying? Because it does get hard. But being your father and understanding that, knowing, just think about what you just said. In the power of like the description you just gave, right? You said like your phone was on 100 all day, then it goes to 2%. You asked her for a charger that you really didn't need. What you
I
needed
didn't.
was in your bag already, but like at least that's what you thought you needed. You thought you needed a charger. What you needed was Pia. You know what I'm saying? It
Mm,
wasn't about the charger. It was about how she charged your life. You know what I'm saying? How she infused you with some love and with, you know what I'm saying, some support and some companionship and some friendship and made you feel like, man, I am in the right place and I am here at the right time. And I know that, everything's going to be okay. So shout out to Pia. I appreciate you and, keep who you are, and that's why God gonna keep blessing you. You in Kentucky now. You going to school. You found friends, and I know you. You know, I know a lot. I know you, and I know you know me, and I know a lot that I don't know. So you
Mhm.
what was you know all of that with Kumbaya? That was good. What was your first party like? I know you
My
don't
first
party. What
party.
was your first party like? Yeah.
Honestly, being 100% honest, I never went to like a Chicago full house type of party. I never been to a party like that. Like, if I went to a party, it's probably like a house I'm already at, with just a whole bunch of people come over and we smoke and we drink. Like,
No, I'm talking about in Kentucky. I'm talking about at schools. I know like see me going to college, right? This is what I mean. Let me rephrase. So me going to college, I partied in Chicago, like house parties, footwork, and all that kind of stuff. Went to the club, but when I got to college and I went to school, it was a different kind of party, and people still did what I did. But guess what? We all got up and went to class the next
mm.
day. It was different. So like,
Oh, okay.
I mean, your first college party. What was that experience like?
Well, once again, I haven't had a party really like an honest party, but like we'll go over to each other's dorms and have fun.
Kick back.
Um, yeah, a kickback. But that getting up from a 3 a.m. walk with all your friends just to go on a 3 a.m. walk, once
And you got to be in class at 8.
I have to be at the class at 9:30. But if I don't get up to 8 o'clock, I'm not gonna be up to 8:45. And
uh,
I wasn't up at 8 o'clock. I was up at 8:45. So yeah, and then they'll party on a Monday, a Tuesday, on Wednesday,
oh
a
yeah,
Thursday.
it's
Don't
college.
yeah,
They
it
get it
is.
in.
So it really is. When people say it's your decision, like these last 2 weeks, that's all I've been doing is partying with them. I have not been taking care of what I need to take care of. I
Well,
am
you need to
determined.
take care of it. You need to get back
I
on track.
yeah, I am determined. I'm glad I'm going through it in summer classes instead of my actual semester, because I'll be doomed. I will be doomed if I didn't realize like the work first and then party. Because when I first came down, I was like, oh no, I'm finna have fun. I'm finna have a good time. Cause the first month I came down here, I ain't had no friends. I ain't know nobody down here. So when I started meeting people and they started inviting me to their room and stuff like that, I was like, oh yeah. So I'd be out to it. I don't never go to sleep um before no 10 p.m. Like you gonna go to sleep at 2, 3, 4, 5. Two like 4 days
Your
ago I went to
sleeping
sleep at
habits
9.
terrible.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Oh.
I didn't go to
But
sleep at
this the beauty.
7
This the beauty of college, though. This the beauty of college, and this is the challenge, and that's why you're doing it. I know you're gonna be successful. I know you're gonna succeed. Conversation with you right now lets me like hear the growth and the maturity, and like just for a couple of months from where you come from to where you are right now in your journey. And I'm proud of you, and I love you. And I mean, I'm as a father. So like as a father, uh, what is some of the best advice as a father that I've ever given you that hasn't left you? Because I know like we say things, you've told me things like out, my wife has told me things, my mom, everybody, we've got things from so many different people in our lives. Some things say, some things don't. What is something that I've told you, whether it was recently or way back in the day, that has stuck with you and you feel like it's helped you?
um is one I specifically remember, but I'm not gonna state that on here.
Yeah, you can. We free. We what we here for.
But um I say one thing that you always that you did, like Tim, you brought it up in the podcast actually. When you said people not gonna care about your diabetes. Like people just don't care. Like I have to realize that. Like with my professors, I could be throwing up and they be like, you still didn't come to class, nothing we can do. Like I have to realize with doctors, you would tell them what you go through and what you think you need, and they'll tell you what they think you need. Well, you'll tell them what you know you need, because your body, you done been doing this, so you already got a good companionship with your body. Like you already know what you need and what you don't need. And the
Yeah,
doctors,
you know, it's your
they're
body. It's your body.
yeah,
Yeah.
they'll be like, well, in a book it says, and it be doctors that don't never had diabetes. Their parents or other people don't had it. But if you don't experience diabetes, like you just really would not get it. Even if you
Right.
took care of that person, even if you did this and that for that person, you would not understand. So have like the best advice you gave me was people not gonna care about your diabetes. So my thing that stuck with me that helped me was to make sure that I cared about it, to make sure I was like all right with knowing that I had it and not being like scared to say it. Because in high school I hated that people knew that I had it because people love making jokes and I'm not the type to speak too much. So I'm gonna leave that at that. But like I said, that's that's one of the things that you have told me that stuck with me. Like making like letting me know people not gonna care regardless. Like it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Like my problem
Yeah.
is not people's problem. My problem is my problem.
Right, and that's not just like like that's just you to get you to the point where you got to the point where you are now where you can take care of yourself when it comes to
Yeah.
like like with your health, but that's just like in life. Your problems are your problems. Some people going like people that love you, they'll tell you the truth, they'll help you with truth. It might not be money, it might not be like, as long as you're gonna tell me the truth and you're gonna make sure that you make sure that I'm gonna continue to be consistent, be accountable. That's why I love people that's in my life that does that for me now. But
Mm,
another thing, as a father, I don't want you to ever think that because I had to not, like if I blocked you or I didn't talk to you or I had to let you sit back and figure things out. And and when you call me and I tell you something like that ship is sailed, when people don't work on your time, the world don't work on your time. When somebody's here to help you and you claim you need help, you got to be made available. Don't think for 1 second that any time that I couldn't communicate with you, that I ain't love you and it didn't hurt and that I didn't to answer that phone but I had to let you figure it out and I had to make sure that I knew that I prayed about it. I got to step back and let her see, you know what I'm saying? Like, but for every time that you thought, I apologize. I don't want you to ever think that I ain't never stopped loving you. Even when I left, I always loved you. I always thought about you. I always prayed for you. I always prayed about you. I always, what I'm saying, checked on you, whether it was like indirectly as people I called, they checked for me. But as your father, like I tell you, Money, Treasure, Carlito, like y'all are my greatest accomplishments. As a dad, y'all make me look good as a father. You know what I'm saying? And you, I'm so proud of you because I know the struggles. I know, like, being a teenager, I know what you was going through. I know, how hard it was, like having a certain dynamic, then that dynamic changes and you don't have it no more. But think for 1 second that your father, your dad, your friend, what I'm saying, your basketball coach, your cheerleading coach, your biggest supporter, like, what I'm saying? Like, I always believed in you and I always knew you'd be at this point in your life. And I knew you had greater for you. So I'm proud of you.
mm,
I'm happy for you. And I'm not going to let up on you. I'm not going to accept mediocrity because I'm not going to let you accept it from me as a father because you have told me things that stuck with me and made me realize that, hey, even if I ain't gonna be in the house with step up, I still gotta do this. I still gotta give you what you need to make sure that you survive. Because when you wasn't getting it and you was crying out for it, I had to make sure I was there to give it to you. So I applaud you and I'm excited to see where your future is going as a young lady, uh, as a professional. And I know you're gonna rock and roll. I know you're gonna do it, and I know you're gonna be an example for a lot of other young black girls and brown girls that look like you that might be struggling with depression, with diabetes, with you know divorces, like anything that you might have been going through. You're gonna be a voice for that. I believe that, and I believe that any man that you might come into in the future, he's gonna be very lucky to be able to be a part of your life, and he gonna know that your daddy crazy and he a gun owner. Your brother crazy, and they better be good to you. But I'm proud of you, baby girl, and is there it's the last question we got to ask before we leave out of here. Give me a person, no matter who it is, that helped you. Give me a person that helped you be a. The devil is a lie. He will not get on back in here. Where you at, Georgia? There she go. She back. Give me give me one person that has helped you? That was one person you viewed in your life that helped you become the winner that you are today. One person.
Can I say God? Or it have
Yeah,
to be an actual
absolutely.
person? Okay, I didn't know.
I ain't no hater. I ain't hater. Hey, God. Hey, if you say God, what's that?
Okay. uh, well, it's God, but like speaking on another person, I would have to say my little sister, Treasure. Like,
Wow.
yeah, like I didn't realize how much I loved her until I left out the house. Like, I really did not realize. And like she helped me grow as a person overall. Like me doing the things I did for her while I was still living in the house with her, that helped me grow. That helped me like she just helped me overall. Like me and her conversations, to me telling her how she make me feel, to her telling me how I make her feel. Us going to each other about situations that we both were struggling with in the same house. Um, me being able to like drive her around, me being able to confront her on her wrong, and her being able to confront me on my wrong, me and her being able to argue and to fight, to hug and love. Like, she really is the real reason, like, I believe, like, I grew from my childish ways. Because in order for me to see my childish ways and the wrong ways, I had to look down at her and be like, she can't repeat my same steps. I don't want her repeating my same steps. So, like, yeah, I have to get that to Treasure. If it ain't God, it's Treasure.
That's what's up. And this is what I want you to understand.
Yeah.
Like, I want you to feel like I can't give you everything. I can give you what I can give you, and I serve my to give you
Mm-hmm.
those things. There's gonna be a lot of people that you're gonna come into contact with that's gonna
Mm-hmm.
help you grow as a person, and that's the beauty of life and the beauty of seeing, the beauty of getting away from that, few blocks of a radius that you grew up in that some of us don't get to leave from. So shout out, but shout out Treasure. You know what I'm saying? My Treasure girl, she was able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of y'all have taught me something as a father, helped me be better, helped me learn how to deal with all y'all unique person. None of y'all are the same. None of the four of y'all are the same. So it helps you be better. So I'm glad that you said Treasure, because like that makes me feel good that you recognize that is special, and she gonna do great things too. So we're at the end of it right now, and I think it was very cool. It was emotional, and it was wonderful that we got to have this conversation. I got to hear some things that I hadn't heard. I got to see what's going on. So if anybody want to reach you, give us some information. Social media, how can they reach you on social media? Facebook, Instagram, whatever else you
Oh
want.
Lord. Okay. Um, I'm not really on social media, but I am. I give y'all my Instagram, but that's all y'all getting. Adore Georgia, but when you search it up, you can look up Adore Georgia or Lady Ali, Lady LADYY.ALI, Lady Ali. That's my Instagram. Yeah.
You got a YouTube channel too. Give them the YouTube.
Oh yeah, my YouTube channel. I'm sorry. Um, it's all things Georgia. There's no videos posted, so it might not pop up. But this is how it look. So yeah.
Okay. All things Georgia. YouTube channel. Y'all have like and subscribe. Go to my channel, like and subscribe. And y'all go to show us some support. So y'all know what this is, man. It's about that time, what we do about this time. Certified Winners Podcast, man. It's your boy Kevo, baby. My first Georgia, sweet Georgia, brand Georgia. We in the building, and it's time to move around. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day. I love you. God love you. There's nothing that you can do about it. And we out. Peace. Love you, Georgia.